It's another boring B-side, another load of tat. It has no redeeming features, and we're really proud of that.
Hey there everyone, and welcome back to the B-Side Podcast. Today we will be discussing the topic of sellouts in music, what makes a sellout, when you can recognize a sellout, whether you can sell back in, and so on. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined today by...
Jarret.
PMS.
RGS.
Matt from In the Furnace.
Local reviews from NMR.
And Calum on music from NMR. No, it's Calum. My name's Calum. Fucking argument.
So I suppose we should get right back into it. The topic of sellouts is a pretty controversial one in this community because no one really seems to can decide exactly what a sellout is. There has been a lot of discussion and argument on this topic, so I guess that can be the first point we'll talk about. What exactly is a sellout?
A sellout is, well, how I define it is someone who kind of just gives up their artistic integrity in favor of money, basically.
Yeah, that seems like about.
Yeah, basically.
There's definitely different types, I guess. I don't really know. It doesn't have to be exactly
I don't know
that,
if I'm
but that's sort of the
jumping-
idea.
I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but Kendrick Lamar on "Don't Wanna Know" by Maroon 5. Anyone who's heard, if you just listen to Pimp a Butterfly and then you listen to "Don't Wanna Know," that is the kind of archetype of a sellout. I just hope he doesn't continue down that road.
Yeah, I guess that's a good one to maybe add to the list later.
Yeah.
Counts just doing some features.
Yeah, I guess that could count as a different type. Sorry, you were saying?
And the thing is that while sellouts usually entail and giving up, artistic integrity for the purpose of making money, it can be presented in different ways because some artists can sell out just by making the same sounding music. If they just do the same thing over and over again instead of trying anything new that they might want to try just because they know that it'll make them more money. Or selling out can be adapting to popular trends. There's many different ways that selling out can take place.
And that will be the topic of discussion for much later. But yeah, the thing about selling out is that if you watch reviewers like Todd in the Shadows, they're very liberal with calling artists sellouts, even when that might not necessarily be the correct way to describe them. I don't necessarily think that just making if you're a rock artist and you make a pop song, I don't think that necessarily in and of itself makes you a sellout. But for me, it's all in it's mostly in the lyrical content. If your music revolves around lyrics, and you start off by writing intelligent, insightful commentary on whatever your topic is, and then you just start writing about regular pop music tropes like partying and drugs and all of that, without adding anything interesting or substantial to the discussion, then I feel that would make you a sellout.
When you put it like that, just
Maroon 5
regular
would've sold
pop
out?
music tropes like drugs, it seems so much. If it seems like more people should be kind of talking about that. That seems kind of shady. Just how normal it is now.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that just talking about drugs in and of itself has to be a sellout, but you have to add something interesting, not just my friends we smoke drugs or some shit like that.
Yeah, it can't be just
drugs,
oh.
normal pop music stuff that kids listen to.
Yeah, I can't imagine a song going Maroon 5 going, oh yeah, we just smoked six joints.
Well, it's arguable as to how bad weed is, but when you start talking about coke and stuff, that's where things should probably be talking about more. But that's a conversation for another time. You got to keep in mind that there's a reason selling out is called selling out, and that's that goes back to what I said about how they're doing it for money. That's where it got the name, because they're giving up they're giving up their artistic integrity just for more money.
For a paycheck. Yeah,
Right.
like assimilate into like a more kind of generic pop sound, because that's what people like. That's what's going to get you more sales and what's going to get you more money, regardless of what you sounded like beforehand.
I have an opinion on that, but we'll get to that. I'll
Beg your pardon?
What's that?
Oh no.
That's odd. Just no one's speaking at the moment.
Well,
I'm just
like,
trying to like marshal my thoughts now.
yeah, like, do you guys want to go to the artists we're talking about?
Sure, yeah, let's start with that.
Okay,
So,
so
first
first
up,
up is Maroon 5.
discussing Maroon 5, yeah.
Of course, like
Yeah, they're the biggest
Adam
sellouts,
Levine.
in my opinion.
I think we're all voting yes in
Yeah.
favor of
Okay.
them being sellouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
everyone's favorite pop sound.
Adam Levine's Mean Bean Machine.
Um,
That's how I like
Maroon
to.
5 have always sucked. I'm not sure about. I've listened to grunge albums.
Yeah, apparently they have grunge albums.
They have a 90s grunge album, and the mixing is
Yeah,
the
I'll
worst
believe
thing
that
ever.
when I see it.
I'm serious. Andrew, I'll send you a link to it.
Alright, and I'll link it in the
Flowers.
description if any of our viewers want to watch, or listen, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
I don't
usually like,
think-
pretty conservative when it comes to calling artists sellouts, but the one group that I would like wholeheartedly agree is a sellout is Maroon 5. That I heard that song like 3 times on the radio today, and just it hit me just how soulless and generic it is. It's just you can tell that no one involved put any effort into it whatsoever.
I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
I think this is like the most common sentence when talking about Maroon 5, but weren't they supposed to be a band? Like, don't want to
They
know.
are. I looked it up. I actually looked it up a while ago. Don't Want to Know was actually produced by at least some of the band members.
Yeah,
Huh,
yeah,
go
but
figure.
it doesn't
Not
sound
even
like
kidding.
It doesn't sound like it.
Yeah,
It really doesn't.
it's funny. Like Panic at the Disco, who has a single member left behind, sounds more of a real band at this point than
Yeah.
well,
True
was
that.
it 5 or 6 piece of Maroon 5?
Yeah, that's debatable.
Maroon, it's been almost 10 years since they've sounded like a real. Maroon 5 has sounded like a real band, so.
I mean, Makes Me Wonder was fantastic, and This Love is pretty good, but I don't know if they had pre-set out many great songs. But now it's just embarrassing. Like
Yeah.
Films and Animals are just awful, hilariously awful, and there's Don't Wanna Know, which is like it's like they sold out twice somehow.
Mm.
That never happens. They sold out twice.
You keep going down the
I
rabbit hole.
think the way they sold twice was This Summer's Gonna Hurt is the closest they've been to sounding like an actual band, and that's why it's the worst to me.
I
This
don't
summer?
think they sold out. I don't think. How do I put it? I don't think they sold out twice. More just found a new way to progress their selling out. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really
Yeah,
think that
that's more good.
I really think that the first like big sign that they were selling out was in 2011 with Moves Like Jagger,
Yeah, I think
because
that's
that
the
was
tipping
like
point.
that was like their first song that was produced
Hey.
by pop producers, because Max Martin helped produce that song. All
Yeah.
of their material before that, I mean, sure, they maybe were progressively getting more and more pop, but Maroon 5 was always at its core, at least, a pop funk band that was really
Guys, I just came out with a metaphor. And everything. Like, you know how an artist, a painter, or whatever, can find new techniques and new ways to kind of paint, like new, techniques to use. I think
Yeah.
that, but like even this, despite how they find new techniques, it's not the same thing as learning to paint all over again. It's like that with Maroon 5 and their different ways of selling out.
Yeah.
Actually,
I just want to say this: Misery is probably the first sign they, because nothing in Misery sounds like an actual band made it, and more like a Disney Channel band made it.
To the topic of misery and to the topic of sellouts in general, I don't necessarily think that a sellout track has to be necessarily bad. I didn't think misery was that bad, and there are a couple of post-sellout Maroon
On the
5
topic
songs
of misery, let's talk about the Black Eyed Peas.
I've also enjoyed a couple
Hey.
of other post-sellout Maroon 5 songs, but overall, it's just not good. I would not defend it on any sort of artistic level. Especially
I actually
feelings
have
that might be
a
able to
Black Eyed Peas
blend.
album. I have the end
Okay, so
on
Black
CD.
Eyed Peas.
Black Eyed Peas. What's their verdict?
Shit.
Yeah.
I have
Kinda.
I've not
No,
listened to
I
a lot of
will.
their sellout stuff.
I
Okay,
only
hold
heard the
on. Like,
singles.
I
there's.
got that Boom Boom Pow.
I will not defend will.i.am for many things,
Mhm.
but what I will defend him for is just being a generally hilarious person outside of his artistic endeavors. I like because there was a new series of The Voice that was on tonight. They started tonight over here in England, and I swear, will.i.am is just the funniest fucking guy. You gotta see him. It's great. His music's just the worst. I mean, probably. If you follow me on Twitter, it's probably well-known fact by now that he made one of the worst songs I've ever heard.
Which one?
It's My Birthday.
Oh
Oh,
my!
Oh, I
But
remember that one.
I will wholeheartedly defend him as an actual person because he just seems like the fucking funniest, most adorable guy.
the only real thing I can really say about the Black Eyed Peas, as I said before, is
Sorry?
probably the best first line in
Sorry,
I'm
can
a
you
Bee.
repeat your clipping?
In one of the songs, he goes like, "I'll be bank, I'll be one of the best terrible line of 2010."
You're clipping
Sorry,
again.
and you cut out.
Yeah,
almost
you
none
cut
of
out
that.
a
you
lot.
said?
Okay, is it better? My Wi-Fi is going all. My Wi-Fi is all over the place today. Am I less clipped?
Yeah.
Okay, as I was saying, I've listened to the end, and the end is a
Oh, you cut out.
You're gone again.
Yeah, like,
It
the
goes
end
like-
is a 7 out of 10. Black Eyed Peas. It's 7 out of 10.
you sure about that, buddy?
I listened to it yesterday. It's actually they have some legit like good songs. Boom Boom Pow is actually really good.
What?
Okay. Is there any way to kick you out of the call?
Well, like there was like Meet Me Halfway, and I Got a Feeling. So it's
No,
not entirely bad.
Yeah.
Maybe Halfway wasn't ever that good.
I
I
like
mean,
that.
that.
I haven't
Feeling.
heard it.
And I like I'm
Stop
a Bee
lying
Rock
to
That Body.
yourselves. Stop lying to yourselves.
When I was like 10, I
Wake
bought a
up,
copy
sheeple.
of the end, and
When I
thought the end was okay back then. It's probably doesn't hold up now, but yeah, Boom Boom Pow is a legit decent song, honestly.
I used to have I bought the end when I was 8, and I think I got rid of it when I was 13. Broken, and I listened to it like the other day, and it was actually surprisingly still pretty decent. They no longer Boom Boom Pow, and it's the best. I recommend it to everyone.
Wait, Boom Boom Pow is the best song?
Please don't.
Yeah, wait. If Boom Boom
Yes.
Pow's the best song, then it's
Yeah,
right.
Uh,
it's gonna be
let me have a
problem.
look at the track listing.
Public service announcement. I recommend Boom Boom Pow to no one.
Yeah, same.
Okay, but
I disagree.
in regards
so-
to the Black Eyed Peas as an actual sellout, I would argue there could be a defense that even what they did throughout a lot of the end and the beginning era could be regarded as just a different artistic endeavor. They slowly moved away from the hip hop pop of their origins and moved into more electronic music, where there definitely was some selling out was when will.i.am took his solo career and put out songs like Scream and Shout and Hashtag That Power. Those songs are definitely sellout moves in the ways they are composed and just the mindlessness of the lyrics.
Yeah,
Are you forgetting our Lucy? Check it out,
I've
Matt.
heard of artists from like China and stuff who've literally planted grass in their own backs, and you could call that a different artistic endeavor, but it doesn't make it any less insane.
Yeah. So what would you guys say was the tipping point for their sellout? Is it pre or post My Humps?
It's
Post.
Post, definitely
because-
Post.
Yeah, post.
Well,
I haven't
Well, I'm
listened
not
to a
sure.
lot of their pre-sellout stuff except for "Where Is the Love," but I thought that "Where Is the Love" was a pretty great song. Whereas almost everything that came after that, with the exception of "I Got a Feeling," it was just terribly unimpressive by
What about
comparison
Don't Break the
as a
Heart?
standalone.
What about Don't
Okay.
Funk With My Heart, Andrew?
It's alright, I guess. Not the most
Okay,
difficult
well,
thing I've ever done.
you-
I would say
Okay,
the actual tipping point for when they sold out was probably the Time Dirty bit, honestly.
Oh, definitely.
No,
The Time Dirty Bit was
I don't know
like,
if I don't know if anyone's actually mentioned this before. Have you guys actually seen the video for that power? And like when the drop hits,
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like Will.i.am on all his clones, just kind
Yeah.
of crouching slightly over and over again. Because let's be honest, that's the nearest you can get to dancing to that beat, isn't it?
yeah,
Kinda-
Yes.
Yeah, William is a very like
guys,
lame man. He's not ashamed of it.
I would disagree that the Time Dirty bit was like the tipping point for a sellout because it's not as though a disaster like My Humps had any more artistic value.
Well, you guys have to consider that they had a career before Fergie joined in 2003, I think, and they still make straight up hip hop. They actually like 2 years ago they made a kind of comeback song that wasn't successful and it was pure hip hop, and it didn't
Damn it,
have Fergie.
Fergie, you ruin everything.
Oh, yeah,
didn't
yesterday. I
Ethan mention
forgot
this in one of
yesterday.
his
Yeah.
worst videos?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yesterday was good. I like that. I think.
yeah, that was a good song.
I've never
Yeah.
heard it.
I heard it because I
It's a
did.
good rap song, but they barely got any attention.
When was the last time the piece had a hit anyway?
2011.
Like
Oh, wow.
as the Black Eyed Peas, I think that was the Time Day bit.
Yeah, just can't get
Oh,
enough was
No,
the last hit.
their last hit was crap. I can't remember. Just Can't Get Enough. It was like number 10 in the year-end list.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah, that
can't
was
get
2011.
Oh wait, guys, you can't
Now they're
forget
gone. Is everyone happy?
the words of love version.
I've never heard Just Can't Get Enough in full because I have a life. But how is it?
It's alright.
It's not
Oh,
terrible.
It's okay. Heard better.
There's like a shitty part at the end, but otherwise it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's above
Uh,
average for
yeah,
early
but
2010s.
It's not
Black Eyed
very
Peas.
far above average.
It's a
Is it?
2 out of 5.
Yeah.
guys, what do you think of Where's the Love 2016?
I hate that song.
Haven't listened to it.
It was
I
embarrassing.
Yeah, but yeah.
I hate Where's the Love so much.
Wait, the original or the 2016 one?
2016.
Oh yeah, that one was trash.
I haven't heard it.
I haven't heard the original yet, but if it's like 2016, I probably will hit it.
The original is great,
Okay.
at least in my opinion. Your mileage may vary.
True.
The next artist, I don't know about this one, but it's Katy Perry.
It's Katy Perry, and I'm excited for this one because I actually know more about.
He's gonna
Alright,
cut out
well-
all during his explanation.
Yeah,
Katie. Okay.
Katy Perry is probably one of the most funny artists of the 2010s.
Can't
And
argue with
yet,
that.
what?
Sorry, you
What's
cut
that?
out again.
Or just say your piece.
Probably the first time. The first point where I can say Katy Perry fully sold out was probably that awful "Part of Me" song, which debuted at #1 and then just ever.
Part of Me hit
Part of
number
Me
one.
sucks.
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
wow.
Yeah, for 1 week it debuted and then it fell off
That
completely.
wasn't. I was like 13. I wasn't paying attention to the charts at all. Like the closest, like the most I knew about the American charts was, I don't know, the offhand, whatever offhand kind of reference to it Todd might have made every now and then. But no, I wasn't like #1. Like really?
Part of Me doesn't sound like a #1 hit to me.
Yeah, as to
Part of Me debuted at #1 and then fell off
Yeah, I
because
remember
no
that.
one cares about Part of Me.
I mean, I think it
it's
sounds
alright, I
like
guess.
maybe a
Bad.
top 20 hit, maybe, but I wouldn't stretch that much further.
yeah, as to Katy Perry, I don't think she's really a sellout at all, unless you count she lost her artistic integrity in between "You're So Gay" and "I Kissed a Girl," which I don't think was a thing.
Yeah,
She's always a
I was
pop
about to
star
say-
from
You're
the
So
start to
Gay
the
is
end.
modern
It's not a
masterpiece.
sellout.
Don't
Yeah, Yeah, I was about to say,
God,
like,
the
can you really be considered a sellout if your music had no artistic value to begin with?
Okay,
Well,
okay.
Katy Perry has a ton of artistic value. Don't go there. Like, Katy Perry is
Okay, but I will go there. She had no artistic value.
Okay,
Fuck
look.
me.
Look, Katy Perry was a sellout, and she was a sellout from the second she released her first single.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
the thing.
because
That is the
in 2001 she released an album under her real name, Kate Hudson, and it was a Christian album. She was a Christian artist, and
Yeah.
she was a Christian artist for years. Most recently, in 2006, she did backing vocals on the song "Goodbye for Now" by POD. So the second that she decided to put out stuff like "You're So Gay" and "I Kissed a Girl," that was the tipping point for her, because she decided to just go on and make pop music instead of sticking with her Christian ideals.
Wait,
It's
Have
when-
you
no,
listened
I
to
never
a Christian
listened
album,
to
Matt? Because
Buddy.
I've listened to it.
buddy.
This song
Dude.
called "You Can Look What You Can't."
I thought "You're So
Uh,
Gay"
Zach-
was
She
from,
talks
can't.
about
She
it.
can't have been.
her Christian
she can't
days.
have been a Christian artist. Like, what you should do? Send me a link to her Christian music, and I will not listen to it because I want to retain the belief that the world makes sense.
So you
Um,
could make the argument that since she got a career, she never sold out, and I would say that's adequate. But from the moment she decided to stop trying in the Christian world and go for the pop, that was sort of a sellout move in her
No,
case.
I don't
Matt,
think
I'm
so,
gonna
because,
argue
like,
back at you.
if you- keep in
She
mind,
sold out when she released "Part of Me" because "Part of Me" is the first like completely bland song. It destroyed all of her original goal when making music. It was like complete opposite of what.
okay, what you need to keep in mind is Katy yeah, yes, please. Katy Perry was she was raised by like serious, I think, like hardcore conservative Christian parents. So I doubt that like moving
Oh,
on
yeah, I
to
heard that.
kind of skeezy pop music was more of a. I don't think it was a sellout move as much as a kind of fuck you to her parents.
Yeah, I can see that.
It actually is a huge fuck you to her parents.
It's a rebellion, not a sellout move.
Okay, yeah, that's
do-
fair. In that case,
Yeah,
I
makes
wouldn't really
sense.
consider her to be a sellout.
I wouldn't consider her to be a sellout even from transitioning from stuff like Hot and Cold to Roar. Roar was like,
Oh
One of
yeah,
the dullest
that you can make a
existence,
case for that.
but I
But
don't
then
feel
remember
like
Firework happened.
I don't feel like her 2008 singles had that much artistic value either. Like I enjoyed Hot and Cold, but I wouldn't really defend it. On that
What
level.
What about
That
Dark
is
Horse?
really wrong.
I hate Dark Horse.
Oh
I
god,
don't
Dark
leave.
Horse,
I don't
fucking
leave my
Raw.
voice.
Firework.
Everyone.
That's like between like 2011 and 2014. I've just realised you can't pin down an exact date or like exact year when Katy Perry would have sold out. It's like
Oh, I
it's
can
just
hear it too.
Oh, that's true.
because either she's sold out over and over and over again, or she's just kind of in the perpetual state of being that is selling out. She just
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, that's
she's
just,
always in the process.
okay. Yeah, there's a
weird.
couple
She
pop.
actually, I'd say the part where she fully sold out was probably or
You're cutting out.
Firework.
Okay, there's a couple pop artists
but-
on here, and I don't really think
but
She
in
sold
any
out
of
on
that
Firework and
sold
she
out.
just kept
The funny thing
She
is
just
that Firework is probably
sold even
Corbin's hit.
deeper.
Guys, like Hot and Cold, like all that stuff was like huge hits. You can't really like sell out from that to another sound. Like if she was a pop star at the beginning and had like huge songs, it's not really a sellout if she's still a pop star that has huge songs.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you guys think that something like Rise, which is selling out to like
That's not a
I mean,
sell.
just like for the Olympics?
Rise was the literal worst. Was one of the worst things he has done. It shows how little any producers have learned from one of the boys, and showed overall how incompetent Katy Perry is with the song. But that's another topic.
I don't really hate Rise. It's just boring to me.
Keep in mind that Rise came after This Is How We Do and Roar. I don't really see how anyone can make the case for her selling out at that specific moment when she had already released
Okay,
so
was
much
not sold out.
unartistic crap beforehand.
I'm
I mean-
gonna get onto a kind, like, I wouldn't say touchy, but a kind of slight minefield of a subject here. So just kind of catch me if I fall here, please. But
Go on.
because I think Rise is a bit too, I don't want to say too empowering, but a bit too kind of dramatically empowering for the Olympics. I don't want to be like offensive or anything. I think it might have been more suitable for something like the Paralympics, where people need a song like that more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right.
Kind of makes sense, yeah.
I guess so.
As far as Rise goes, I feel like I like the musicality of it, the like dramatic swelling of the song, but I don't feel like Katy Perry is the appropriate person to pull something like that off.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I got it. Like Olympians, like not Olympians. They, well, obviously they have something to prove, but I don't think they have enough to prove to warrant a song like Rise. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It was like too dramatic for the Olympics.
Also, who really cares about the Olympics anyway?
Well, 2012. I'm British. Put two and two together.
Didn't the 2012 ones have like a Muse song as the theme?
This
Sorry?
year's Olympics
Like a
were
Muse song.
No,
I don't actually remember what our themes. Are Olympic theme songs a regular thing? I don't remember.
I remember the Canada one was really bad. Should we just move on to our next artist?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
It is
Fall Out Boy. As someone who
More like-
listens to Fall Out
more
Boy
like Fall Out
on a
Boy.
regular basis, I feel like this would be a good topic for me to talk about.
I really, really like Fall Out Boy, and it's such a shame because the first album of theirs I listened to was American Beauty, American Psycho, and then I kind of listened to bits and pieces of Under the Cork Tree and Infinity on High and stuff. I really like the stuff from there. I haven't gone back to American Beauty, American Psycho. I feel like if I do, I'd fucking hate it.
Well, as someone who has like only just started listening to Fall Out Boy like a couple of months ago, I began with their first album and made my way in order. I felt
I
like
haven't heard Take This to Your Grave yet.
I felt like their last two albums, Save Rock and Roll and American Beauty, American Psycho, were not as good as their previous albums, but it has nothing to do with the stylistic choices, because they did move in like a less rockish direction and more towards a pop direction, but there were still some really fantastic tracks on there. I just felt like in between overproduction and just Patrick Stump like pushing his vocals to the limit and then some, it just, their last two albums have not really been like the finest showcase of what they're capable of doing under the right circumstances.
I'll be honest, I really, really like My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. Not because of the lyrical content, because let's be honest, no one has a fucking clue what Patrick Stump's talking about half the time, but just because it sounds awesome.
I don't like it, honestly. It just feels like really colorless and ugly.
I never liked it to begin with.
Probably the top 10 worst of 2013 material.
Wow, fuck you, dude.
I really like it.
I don't like Uma Thurman either.
I can
I
get why
just
some
find it
people.
really annoying.
I can get why some people will find that thing Patrick does, like, I'm on fire! I can't do it. I can see why people would find that annoying, but I really like it.
Yeah, I'm with Calum. I love it too.
Yeah, it's an acquired taste.
I used to love it, but then they featured it on that Percy Jackson movie, and I stopped liking it.
On what?
This
They
one kid on my
featured-
bus. In
They
2013,
featured
this
it
one.
on a Percy Jackson movie, and
Wait.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm assuming you mean the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Oh,
The
oh
one
that's a
that
shame.
no
I
one
haven't seen the second one. I wonder if they're making a third one. Probably not.
I
They're
never
not-
watched
they're
the
not
Percy
making
Jackson
one film.
movies.
Also, I think I prefer their newest stuff over the older stuff. I haven't listened to much of their older stuff, but I will say that this scene is seen. It's an arms race. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's one of the worst tracks of Infinity on High.
Yeah.
Fuck. Is it on Infinity on High?
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. The thing, like, I always listen to it and I imagine the album cover of Under the Cork Tree.
Oh.
I don't know. I just, my mind tells me no, this song should be on Cork Tree, but it isn't. It pisses me off. But no, like, Thanks for the Memories is just the best fucking thing. It is
Thanks for the Memories is
best.
fantastic. It's
That's my
probably
favorite
their
Fall Out Boy
It's
song.
it's probably
I
their
don't
third
think
best single.
I'm pretty sure this wasn't a single, but I really grown to love Hum Hallelujah as well.
Yeah, I
Which
really wish that was a single.
Which, fun fact, I'm pretty sure that's about Pete Wentz's suicide attempt.
Yeah,
Oh.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
it's a pretty dark song.
Like I don't know how he did it. He once, I think it was before Fall Out Boy were formed or before they got big or something like that. I think after their first album, I'm not sure, but he attempted to commit suicide in his car, like in a parking lot of a Best Buy. And the thing that kind of stopped him was they were playing Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen on the radio, and he decided not to do it. And yeah, that's what inspired the song, I think.
Which instantly ties me quite nicely into a point I wanted to make about how on like My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, it's not Patrick Stump's lyrics. It's mostly Pete Wentz writing for Fall Out Boy.
I know, but like I just because he's the one singing, so I just decided to say his name for simplicity's sake.
I think that Patrick Stump wrote Missing You from Save Rock and Roll because I read somewhere that it was like originally for his solo album, but then it got cut. He felt like it wanted to be a band collaboration, but yeah, I really like
Patrick Stump was going to do a... Did he do a solo album?
Yeah, he did. Like he did a song with Lupe Fiasco called "This City."
Huh. Is it good?
It's pretty good.
This city.
We haven't really been talking about.
Hold on. Right. Okay. Hold on.
We haven't really been talking about whether or not Fall Out Boy actually sold out or not.
Fall Out Boy, more like Sell Out Boy.
Ha 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 ha. All right, so I kind of want to weigh in on this.
Go ahead.
So Fall Out Boy, they temporarily broke up or went on hiatus after Folie à Deux, and so they were gone for like 4 years, and then came back with My Songs as a single in like January of 2013, and then put out the album in April. And I think one could argue that they sold out with Save Rock and Roll in terms of sound, but it would also be very easy to make the argument that they just went in a new direction. I mean, it is sort of peculiar that they got like 2 Chainz in the My Songs video, and they have a song on that album featuring Big Sean. But for the most part, there's a lot of strong songs compositionally, like Where'd the Party Go and Just One Yesterday are just some fantastic songs, and the writing on that record, and as well as the stuff I've heard off of American Beauty, American Psycho, seems to be what you would expect from Fall Out Boy before the breakup. So they're a really tricky one to gauge. I'm inclined to want to say they sold out because I don't like a lot of the songs they put out on American Beauty, American Psycho. But really looking at it, I don't know if that's an argument I could really make, because it could just be seen as an artistic endeavor.
Oh yeah. When it comes like the good stuff on their last 2 albums, like it was really good. I feel like songs like Missing You, The Kids Aren't Alright, The 4th of July, and Jetpack Blues, those are like excellent songs compositionally. As far as the claim that Fall Out Boy sold out goes, I've not actually heard that claim made a lot about like their music themselves. There are some Fall Out Boy fans who are disgruntled about the fact that their music went in a more popular direction, but the reason why I put them on this list of artists to be discussed was because of ARTB. I don't know how many of you guys have noticed, but on his Twitter, like he keeps going on about how like Fall Out Boy are merchandise whoring. Like they've
Ladies, get yourself a man who says disgruntled in a casual conversation.
Yeah, like he was complaining that like they've been putting out a lot of merchandise, which he thought was like of questionable validity. I think they put out like, what was it, like wall wrappings or something like that, and other ludicrous objects.
Did you say that was a
nature.
Christmas song?
Sorry?
I don't remember. I was only kind of half listening. Did you say that this wall wrapping song was a Christmas song?
No, not a song.
It should be. That should be a name for a Christmas song.
No, they put out like on their web store. Like,
yeah.
Wall wrapping of Fall Out Boy, which is kind of questionable to me. But that seems to be ARTB's general line of thought there, that because they've been putting out so much merchandise that they're being greedy and that they're like taking advantage of their fans for more money.
Oh no, a band puts out merchandise. What a
Oh my
cardinal
God.
What's
sin.
sin?
Is that really a sellout?
I'll be right back, guys. Got to take.
Okay.
Well, I don't think that they're sellouts just for putting out merchandise. Maybe the amounts that they're putting out is kind of questionable, but I don't
I
really
think
see.
the other reason he said so was because like how it became more pop oriented.
I
I
don't know.
mean,
ARTV gave American Beauty, American Psycho 4 out of 5, so I don't think he had much problems with the musicality of it, but he seems to be one of the strongest proponents of that idea. I don't know. Merchandise is tricky. I don't really think that just like putting out a lot of merchandise in and of itself would make someone a sellout.
Yeah, I don't think so as well.
Artist.
And tying nicely into that, I guess our next artist on the list is 21 Pilots, who have also been accused of being sellouts, both by their fans after they produced the song for a Suicide Squad soundtrack, and ARTB again has accused them of you guys know like the cover album that they did with.
What the? Which one?
Sorry, my mic cut out. Yeah, so like basically they took like the math melodies and then like overlaid like the 21 Pilots vocal melodies and stuff and lyrics.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my mic, but hopefully it won't cut out again. Yeah, so ARTV posted like an image from some record shop where they were charging like $60 for that album, and he was like that they were like using like their newfound fame to capitalize on again more merchandise.
Do 21 still.
Yeah.
We'll speed it up later on.
okay.
Yeah, 21 Pilots. I don't think they're really a sellout. They've mostly kept the same sound between their not popular album and their popular album.
Yeah.
I've listened to both Gloryface and Vessel, and like they have a unique style, but they haven't gone pop yet. Like they haven't pandered to a certain audience. You could say that Hiddens is kind of a sellout move because it's from a soundtrack, but I think that's a stretch.
Yeah, but to be fair, Heathens isn't close to your average pop song, is it?
Oh yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah. I said that you could say, but I don't agree with that. I don't think there's a
This
Yeah,
is kind of about how
like, in my
separate
opinion-
the people are.
I feel like a lot of the accusations of selling out are just coming from like longtime fans who are resentful at the fact that like now there's like more people listening to their music, which would relate to like a lot of the lyrical content of Heathens as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are the reason we have songs like Heathens.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking
But Hiddens is a good song. It's one of the best songs.
Oh yeah,
Bro and
but the
everything.
fact that they had to like write the lyrics for it in the way that they did
Yeah.
is pretty sad. They've
No.
embraced the
Why do
song
you
but
think-
completely disregarded the message.
No,
Am I the only one who thinks it's actually really cool that for a hit that was really or like for a song that was only really designed to soundtrack Suicide Squad, they actually made it a genuinely good song with a genuinely good message that was actually pretty far removed from Suicide Squad. They actually kind of
yeah.
they achieved something other than just a soundtrack hit.
Yeah.
I feel like Hiddens was more successful than the movie, both
Oh, yeah.
critically and commercially.
Yeah, rightly so. God, Suicide
Well,
Squad
Suicide
was
Squad sucked, so that's why.
shit.
Yeah, it was
sucked.
really disappointing.
And
I think
when
we
you
can
think
all
about
agree,
it,
hopefully.
and when you think about it, Hiddens doesn't really fit in the movie. If you watch that movie, it
They didn't
doesn't
even
fit.
put it in the movie, dude.
Yeah, it's in the
Yeah.
credits.
Because yeah, credit song, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
credits.
Yeah, it's
there.
a credit song. They don't even play Sucker for Pain.
They put Purple Lamborghini in at one point.
Yeah, Sucker for Pain probably would have. They could have found a way to like make that
Yeah.
film, not the credits, but the film.
Like
Even-
when they are
They didn't do it.
I mean,
Okay.
let's be fair. Sucker for Pain would have fit in the actual films of Suicide Squad better than fucking what's it called, Without Me would have.
I don't really understand the point of like covering Bohemian Rhapsody for Suicide Squad either. Like, there's no relation whatsoever.
They
Probably
played the
too
original-
expensive to get the actual song. I don't know.
I don't see much relation with like the original Bohemian Rhapsody either.
Because people recognize it. That's literally all it is.
Yeah,
It's just
because-
they're chucking. They're just doing potluck and they're chucking a bunch of recognizable pop songs into their film, going, "Hey, we have pop songs. We're cool now, right? Right?"
Yeah, the soundtrack is mostly bad and weird mix of like really popular songs.
I mean, there's a difference between the soundtrack and the actual songs they
Yeah.
use in the film, but if you
I
count
feel-
if you count them both, they actually have some pretty good songs they've used. I like Without Me. I like.
Well, they have Black Skin.
Everyone likes Bohemian Rhapsody, and I'd quite safely call myself a bit of a fan of Sucker for Pain, and Heathens is great. So
You Don't Own Me was great. It should have been a hit, but it just flopped all over the place. Dead Fish.
I think, but I think they only played like. Okay, wait.
What's that, RGS?
I just his
No, I
mind
think
is
that-
off.
Oh,
Lots of editing for poor little Andrew.
oh shit.
So are we done talking about 21 Pilots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For our own,
so-
for the safety
Well-
of our own lives, yeah.
I just hope they.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. So
Numbers.
The Weeknd.
All right, The Weeknd is next up.
I don't see how the weekend sold out though. Like, I guess he went kind of more pop, but he's always kind of been like obsessed with the '80s. So
He
Not
has
really.
said he's on record for saying that he's heavily inspired by Michael Jackson. So
yeah, like I don't see how he sold out. It's kind of like sure he's like it's not like all dark brooding R&B songs now. That's the closest that's a selling out he's gotten.
I was not terribly impressed by The Hills, so if he's gonna keep producing more songs like I Feel It Coming, then I embrace that.
Okay, to my face.
The thing is, I don't really like Daft Punk, so Starboy and I Feel It Coming don't do a lot for me.
Oh.
you don't like that?
I respect Daft Punk. I'm not really a big fan of punk. I've seen people on with okay, but I'm not actively seeking it. Touch
It makes
is
sense.
in 7 out of 10, and Daft Punk never really did it for me. Although Get Lucky is like one of the best songs of 2013. It's a great song.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I like
really
Daft
surprised
Punk
that-
on the Weeknd songs much more
Okay.
than on their actual albums.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's an opinion. No, but yeah, Starboy and Happy Like Coming are great.
But yeah, like,
I
Okay, I'm
even
surprised that...
even if it is selling out, I wouldn't condemn The Weeknd for like his 80s-ish stuff. I love In the
Yeah.
Night. I love Can't Feel My Face. I remember really liking Love to Lay. I like his 80s stuff.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the Night is great, and I really the best list. However, I felt awkward talking about child molestation in a positive way. That and I have nothing to say about it. That hasn't been said before.
Wait, what's this about? Talking about what?
Never mind.
That's
Yeah, never mind.
that's what the lyrics to In the Night are about, apparently.
Yeah, it's like you didn't know that.
I was more,
thought it
I was more concerned about in a positive light.
In the 90s about the prostitute, yeah? Or a stripper or something.
You really
Yeah.
in a positive way.
Oh, and you know what? You know what surprises me? That okay, The Weeknd used to be all dark and stuff like 3 years ago, but then he suddenly makes a feature on an Ariana Grande song, and I'm surprised that no one condemned him for being a sellout right there. Like I
It's
love.
so. Sounds like how everyone wants it fucked and I'll give you the dick. And
Yeah,
that's like the topic of the song.
Lyrically, that was pretty standard The Weeknd content.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's sort of sold out, but he was really good before and he's really good after. It doesn't really matter. Good, he's popular.
Yeah.
I think that regardless of if he sold out or not, I think like with Fall Out Boy, it could be argued one way or the other because his sound definitely has evolved and changed over the past 5, 6, 7 years or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I listened to part of Trilogy, not all 3 mixtapes. I listened to House of Balloons and Thursday. I just could not stand them, especially Thursday. It was one of the most miserable collection of songs I've heard in my life. So to hear him go from stuff like that to stuff like Can't Feel My Face, In the Night, and even more refined, darker songs like The Hills, or maybe something like even Acquainted. I like Acquainted quite a bit. Just seeing his artistic progression, I think, has been nothing but a good thing for him, honestly.
Well, Matt, I talked about liking Black Eyed Peas and hating Daft Punk, but you can say you like Acquainted?
Acquainted is a very good song, and I find it very easy to defend.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Video Behind the Madness and Starboy are really good albums.
I was
Yeah,
not.
and
So
I really love House of Balloons mixtape. I haven't heard the other 2 yet.
For Beauty Behind the Madness and Starboy, I was not terribly impressed by the whole of either album, honestly. Both had some really good cuts on them, but there was a lot of stuff that I felt like could have been done away with as well. I am not at all impressed by The Weeknd's nihilistic sex god persona.
That's fair. I feel like a Starboy would have been much better if they could have like 6 songs or something, because there are too many songs.
Especially the one with Future on it.
Or the Starboy.
I like the ones with Future on them.
Hey, you guys hate on Future too much and that song.
Nah,
He's
Future's
terrible, though.
hilarious.
I think he sounds fine.
He's just not Harry.
Especially in 6 Feet Under. I actually think he makes 6 Feet Under better. That's just me.
Future makes Wicked great, although it's pretty easy because the beat's great and his lyrics are great.
What?
Yeah, I like Wicked too, but this is easy. Move on to
Taylor Swift
on the weekend. Taylor Swift.
Oh my god, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, probably a sellout.
Oh my god.
But who cares,
Taylor
really?
Swift sucks. I hate Taylor Swift. I hate Taylor Swift's new material so much. Oh my god.
Taylor Swift is someone who I've never had a strong opinion on musically. She's had some good songs, she's had some bad songs.
So, fun fact, my first girlfriend was really obsessed with Taylor Swift. She listened to a lot of early Taylor Swift, so hearing 22 bothers me because I'm like, what are you doing, Taylor? What are you doing with your life?
Oh my god. That's a bit of a strong opinion.
Yeah, I mean, her pop stuff is arguably better than her country stuff, so I don't really mind the sellout.
I'm not even sure what's her sellout point per se, because I'm pretty sure that You Belong With Me was kind of poppy, and that's supposed to be on her country year, so I'm not sure.
I think the real tipping point for her was "I Knew You Were Trouble."
Yes,
that was like her first song that had like pretty much no prominent acoustic guitars. It was very synthetic. The melodies and stuff. I think that was the tipping point, honestly.
I Knew Your Trouble had a beat drop, and that's how I knew Taylor Swift was at the same drop to it.
I feel like the funny thing is that she's had many, like if you put I Know You Were Trouble and Bad Blood in the same album, it would be like pretty sellouty, but they are like 3 years apart. Because I mean, something like Bad Blood is just awful, but
I still can't believe Bad Blood exists. It's
I
so
hate
shocking
Bad
when I
Blood so
hear
much.
it.
I don't think anyone likes Bad Blood.
My radio station used to play Bad Blood like twice every.
Twice every what?
I don't think anyone can deny that Bad Blood like by the time Bad Blood kind of rolled around, Taylor Swift had definitely sold out.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
By the time Sugar Off came out,
As far as lyrics goes, I feel like her pre and post sellout stuff was pretty similar. Like musically, I much prefer like her pop stuff, but in terms of lyrics, then there's like no substance or depth to anything that she wrote in a song like 15, and much the same way that there's no substance to anything that she wrote for Bad Blood. It just feels really empty and one-sided. I don't like it.
Man brought her new ex-friend. She's like, oh my god.
And don't get me
I'm
started
just
on
gonna
that.
take it.
Oh my god.
I think
Sugar Off is actually really great. Fight Me.
I think one of the biggest problems with judging Taylor Swift's career is that there is some sort of divide, I think, between her single releases and maybe some deep album cuts. Because like I haven't really listened to like any of her albums all the way through, but I heard this one song that was an album cut on her 2000, I want to say 10 or 11 album, Speak Now. And there was a song on there called Haunted, and it was like an orchestral rock song. Like it had electric guitars and violins and stuff, and it wasn't country, but it wasn't pop either. So it hearing that she made music like this makes me wonder if she ever really had that much of a definitive sound, period, or if there was just like a different story going on between the singles she released and the stuff she was putting on her albums, you know?
And she could have been
Why don't you
gender
come over,
flip-flopping
baby? We
like
can
Panic at the Disco.
shake.
I
feel like
I have to go. So before I want to go, I wanted to say this. I think probably out of the list of artists we were planning on talking about, probably the one that stood out the most is definitely Pink, because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Well, bye.
Peace.
Okay. Yes. Okay, I have to say something about Taylor Swift. The funny thing is that between hits, she has had various degrees of quality and sound, because Bad Blood is sandwiched between two of the best Taylor Swift songs. Like Bad Blood came right between Style and Wildest Dreams, which are both great.
Yep.
I hate Wildest Dreams, but go on.
Yeah, I don't know why, but okay. And yeah, so I wouldn't really know if she's a sellout. I just know that she had a very bad 2016 considering all the Lake jokes, and that I Don't Wanna Live Forever is flopping.
Wait, is that the one that you're forever flopping? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that I Don't Wanna Live Forever is flopping.
Oh.
It'll come back by the time 50 Shades of Grey comes out.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm not saying that. Mostly because I'm not old enough, but also I don't really want to. As far as
Also I want to show you something. Okay.
Oh, I saw this. I still have no idea what to make of it.
Yeah, like it's a joke.
Yeah, I could also not watch that. You know?
Taylor Swift talk about her upbringing in the hood and all the bad stuff's happened to her. Hello.
Hello.
Shall we move on then?
So,
Yeah, we got a
Skrillex.
billion artists left.
Rough upbringing and a mean back streets of Nashville, wherever the fuck she comes from.
I don't know about Skrillex.
I don't know
wouldn't really
anything
say
about
that.
Skrillex except that his music is unlistenable.
Skrillex is great. What are you
I
talking about?
like Skrillex's stuff.
His non-dubstep stuff is like dubstep. I don't know. Well, like, just some good songs, but his pop producing is really good.
I mean, I went through my dubstep phase in 2012, as did we all.
As did I.
I still like it. I still find it listenable. I can still find enjoyment in that stuff.
I never
Bangarang still bangs.
I never find
what you
Skrillex
say.
listenable to
fucking
begin
right it
with.
does.
Yeah.
It bangs. Fucking
Well,
bang it.
I don't-
Kill me.
I
I wouldn't
remember,
really.
I
wouldn't
remember
really
watching
consider-
Elders
Okay.
react to Skrillex because I used to like that series for some reason, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
everyone.
And they
Okay.
and they showed
We
like
we all make our mistakes.
yeah.
Yeah.
They showed like scary monsters, nice sprites, or whatever the hell that song is called to the elders, and
Yeah.
like, the sample that they played of that song was enough for me. Like it's just one of the worst things I'd ever heard.
What you mean, the video or the song?
The song, like the
I
random
will- I
screech
will
of
think
"Oh
it's
my god."
scary. I think Scary Monsters and something sprites I forgot doesn't have a music video. I think it was just a still.
Breaking the Sweat was good as well. I like that one.
Breaking the sweat.
Okay, I think that's
Yeah, I
still-
actually listened to Skrillex's album or EP or whatever the fuck it was.
Like in middle
I
school, I
liked
was
it.
really into Skrillex, so I was familiar with all stuff. But like, yeah, he's good, and I don't know, he didn't really sell out. Like,
And I like his new stuff as well.
stuff isn't really cool anymore.
Did he
Can't really
do What Do You Mean? Did he do What Do You Mean? I know he did Sorry, and
I
I
don't
know
think so.
he was,
I don't
He did
think
Sorry.
So. Let me check.
and I mean I know he did Where Are You Now, which was it's not
Okay.
as bad as some people think it is, but he did Sorry, and Sorry is just has great production.
I
Oh,
hate
just
Sorry's
sorry.
production so much.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry is amazing. It sounds amazing.
I mean, I'll admit it does sound a bit. There's some kind of cheap sounding stuff in there. It doesn't. How do I put this?
But
It doesn't. It does sound a bit cheap. Sorry, but I can ignore that because it just still. It's really upbeat and it's just a fun song to listen to.
I don't know. I wouldn't like collaborating with Justin Bieber doesn't really mean that you're a sellout. I don't know why we put Skrillex on the list. Also, fun fact: before being a DJ, he used to be a guitar player for a rock band.
Yeah, look at
Yeah,
him. That
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my!
remember when he was dating Ellie Goulding, they had their hair the same.
Okay, so are we still gonna talk about Skrillex, or are we going to?
Let's
Guess
move
that's
on. I
it for
guess.
Skrillex.
Yeah, there's not much to
Best
say
band
about
in the game.
Let's move on to everyone's favorite band, Weezer.
Oh no!
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I'm opting out of this
Weezer.
one for
Oh my
mostly
God,
because I haven't heard anything by Weezer,
Yeah.
and secondly because I don't want to fucking talk about Weezer anymore. For God's sakes, let it go.
I heard Pinkerton. It was awful. Haven't heard anything else.
Pinkerton.
As a resident Weezer fan, yes, they did sell out definitely in the 2000s, where it came to its worst at Ratitude and I guess Make Believe 2 with Beverly Hills. But thankfully, they're back to making the good music that they were making in the 90s.
I forget
Now-
where did all the Weezer stuff come from? Why did everyone kind of start talking about them?
I have no idea.
Because it was the 20th anniversary, just went platinum. I think Eric started the whole thing talking about
No, it was
Pinkerton.
Clint Wayne. Oh, it was Brandon, or whatever he wants to be called. Clint Wayne. It was him.
Yeah,
He-
of course,
like,
Can't
he-
Stop Partying by Weezer featuring Lil Wayne, the greatest song ever made. That's really the pinnacle of the
Weezer
sellout.
featuring.
You can
That is a surreal sentence to hear.
mark it right there when like Weezer gone down the deep end.
Yeah. Also,
Weezer.
I have to say that Magic by B.O.B. featuring Rivers Cuomo is great.
Yeah, that's a great song.
It's decent. I don't really see the hype.
Oh, fuck off.
And Pinkerton was a perfect 5 out of 10. Like, not good, not bad, just 5 out of 10.
From here on out, I will always call Pinkerton the Pink Album.
Yeah. But I've heard that the White Album was great, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's really good.
I may check it out.
Alright, so I guess
Next
no
artist,
more Weezer talk.
Okay.
Eminem.
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 I don't know much about Eminem besides his
I
singles,
don't
so
think
I'll
so.
just sit this one out.
I'm not as big a fan of Eminem as I used to be.
Oh.
I mean, when I was like 13, 14, when I was 14, I listened to the stuff from Marshall Mathers LP2 over and over and over, and I loved it. I just kind of got bored of it and never listened to him again.
The thing is, like, there's some artists who sell out, and there's some artists who just get older and get worse. And I guess Eminem
Yeah,
is
I just-
sort of
Eminem is one of the loud, yeah. because
He kind of ran out of steam.
oh no,
Kinda sad,
he
really.
just got bad in 2014 for 24 for some reason.
24.
Yeah, around when
You
he
mean
made
2004?
2004, yeah.
I'm sorry for 2004.
He made songs like this, like
Why is everyone talking
Well, I
to each other?
Calum is singing. I think Relapse, I guess, is the where he started selling out. If you were to say he sold out,
Yeah, you realise Encore exists, right?
or Encore, I don't know. I don't know a lot.
yeah, Encore had stuff like S like that and just lose it and back.
Okay, to be fair, I don't think Encore counts as selling out.
I mean,
It's just a really, really shit album.
Yeah, I think that was
Go on.
out of things to say, but trying to stay relevant because he had just put out "Lose Yourself" the year before, and it was huge. So he was like, "Oh hey, I'm getting bigger than ever. I gotta keep the momentum going, or else my career's gonna die." So he rushed out
Oh
Encore.
shit! What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
And then it ended up being crap because he didn't try. Delay caca poo poo.
I will quote one of the most popular music reviewers. He released Just Lose It and he just lost it.
Ha! References.
Also, he also had a soundtrack album in a boxing movie called Southpaw, and it had some pretty bad tracks like Phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
You guys- Yeah, the movie was okay, but the song was terrible.
Yeah, the Monster is definitely, I'd say, a sellout track.
Oh,
I don't see why people hate the monster so much.
I hate the Monster.
It's decent. 3 out of 5 for me.
I mean,
Written by Eminem, John Valiant, and Baby Rexha.
it's not the
wait, maybe Rexha wrote it?
it's not the best thing he's ever done, sure, but it's really not the worst either. To be fair,
I don't know.
many things aren't the worst thing he's ever done. But
Getting worse isn't the same as selling out, so I don't think that Eminem is a sellout artist.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, as we said, he's not selling out. He's just kind of getting old.
Shall we move on then to Pink?
Pink.
I'm back.
Oh boy.
Pinkerton.
Oh, you
Pink.
guys are talking about Pink now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
P exclamation
Pink
mark
Floyd.
Curtain.
I think most of us would agree that Pink is a sellout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
after
Like
hearing
Fire
Just
was-
Like Fire.
Uh,
Yeah.
It's like Fire.
It's not her
then
worst.
again, Raise Your Glass.
Just Like Fire wasn't her worst
Razor
song, but
Glass was
it was
great.
definitely her most solace.
It's the worst song I heard from her.
Guys, at what point are we going to admit that Raise Your Glass sucks ass?
Razor Glass is great. What are you talking about?
I don't
Oh
really
my
like it, but I don't hate it
God.
either.
It's okay.
I mean, I used to think it was okay, but then I listened to it and it's like, oh, holy shit, this is great. Why
if you want
does someone talk
gangsta.
about it?
So greatest hits so far was the sellout point, and then she hit her low at Just Like Fire. I guess.
Try
Pink.
wasn't.
I agree with Jarret.
I gotta be
no,
honest, Try
unfortunately.
wasn't that great a song. Not that great a song.
Like, I made a
Definitely not
whole
the
review
greatest.
about Just Like Fire, and I don't even have anything interesting to say. It's just the.
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly,
But-
Try is mediocre at the very best.
I mean, Pink has always been a pretty up and down
Pink
artist.
has always
like,
been pretty. Do you say, oh, he's got a crush, has he?
ha.
Sorry, go on.
Ha. Anyways, she's always been a pretty inconsistent artist. She's had her share of terrible songs even before, like Razor Glass and Just Like Fire. But I feel like the tipping point was Just Like Fire. There is like something to be said for movie soundtrack songs. There are a lot of really great movie soundtrack songs, but Just Like Fire was just like the most generic thing possible.
Also, I have to say, Just Like Fire has absolutely nothing to do with
Surprise.
the Looking Glass movie.
Yeah, I actually saw Alice Through the Looking Glass. I do know why my friends dragged me along to see it. But,
I saw it
It
free
was
online because
harmless.
I saw that like included on my worst list, but no, it was a pretty huge mistake. And the funny thing is that that movie is still better than the first Alice in Wonderland. Somehow.
That's sad.
I would never want to watch that movie ever in my life.
Yeah,
I
very
would
much
never
never.
watched the original.
it's bad. It's really bad. Helena Bonham Carter is terrible in this movie.
I knew that movie was gonna suck when I saw the trailer. But I
And it flopped.
Yeah, it flopped.
Yeah,
Like, the first one made a billion. This one didn't even make 300,000.
Low flop.
Alice through the
Yeah.
flopping glass.
Anything else to say on Pink?
She's a pretty okay artist, but yeah, she sold out with Just Like Fire. I don't know if she had her
Before.
sellout point. I'm not sure what her sellout point is, but Just Like Fire is definitely one of those sellout songs.
So Kelly Clarkson then.
Oh, another movie.
I've been waiting for this one.
You can start us off then.
Alright, so Kelly Clarkson, her career path is really interesting. I mean, first she won American Idol, put out some decent singles like Because of You, Behind These Hazel Eyes, Breakaway. She was sort of operating in this pop rock lane that was it was fruitful for her. She made a lot of decent songs and got a lot of success. But then she decided to get raw and edgier, and it didn't really work for her. I mean, she managed to barely snag one hit in that phase with the song Never Again, which we don't talk about. And but then she sort of rebounded with her next album with songs like My Life Would Suck Without You, which was a #1 hit, so that was her redemption. However, I would say that through all of this, she hadn't sold out yet. Where she really sold out was with her following album in 2011, which gave us her ultimate sellout hit, Stronger, parentheses, What Doesn't Kill You.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah,
This is one of the worst #1 hits of the decade. It's generic,
number
soulless.
Wait, did it was #1?
It
God.
hit #1, and
What the fuck is wrong with your country?
I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew.
Just
And
part of me was also #1.
These past few years, America has just been fucking getting everything wrong. Sort your shit out.
Fix your sim.
I'll
More than
give you
half a
this. At
decade
least
at
you
this
didn't let
point.
It's My Birthday hit #1. So you're off the hook for
Okay.
that one.
That's a fair point. But yeah, Stronger doesn't sound like a #1 song. Fight Song wasn't a #1 song. Why was it Stronger?
I guess self-empowerment was really necessary in 2012.
Oh, because the end of the world?
For all the single conservative moms out there who were sad that Mitt Romney lost, needed that motivation.
Oh my god.
Still,
okay.
that song is absolute trash. I would say that was her sellout point. And since then, her career sort of dwindled away. I mean, she had a hit in 2015 with Heartbeat Song, which is not only more soulless generic garbage, but is also a blatant ripoff of The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. It's one of the worst hit songs of 2015, bar none. And
I knew I had heard that somewhere.
I
knew it sounded
awful.
familiar for a reason.
It's totally ripping off The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. It's awful.
Oh yeah, I can't unhear that now.
Oh, I don't
And-
think I've ever listened to a Jimmy Eat World song.
Well, the Jimmy Eat World song is like an emo early 2000s classic. It is a staple of the genre, and it is fantastic.
Let me check it out.
Yeah,
you probably heard it before. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, with that being said, her career didn't really get that much better. I mean, she had Piece by Piece, which was a massive flop, LOL. And then,
It was huge.
and that's and while that song,
Flop, am I right? Huh?
but
Yeah.
then that song, I mean, the production was kind of generic pop, but at least the lyrics came from a more real place, and I admire that. And the song only cracked the top 10 because she performed a stripped back version of it on American Idol, and then that version was released as a single and even got airplay. So, I can sort of respect that, but her artistic integrity still never really recovered ever since 2011 with that just awful single.
Yeah. And I just listened to part of the middle. Yes, it's a blatant
Yeah.
ripoff. Yeah, and I mean, does anyone remember that song, the Heartbeat song?
Nah.
Sort of.
Well, I didn't until you just reminded me.
Yeah, I don't think anyone liked that song. I don't
Well,
mean that
except for
anyone
Ellie.
liked it, but no one cared about it.
Except for Ellie. She really likes it.
Yeah,
Really?
but she's Ellie. No, thanks, Ellie.
Yeah. Oh, good, Ellie.
Love you, Ellie.
There's something that really annoys me just on principle of like songs that have the word "song" in the title, like fight song, heartbeat song.
Wait, hold on. Fight Song is a shitty self-empowerment anthem with no substance.
Right.
And Kelly Clarkson made a shitty self-empowerment song with no substance, and also made Heartbeat Song.
Yeah.
Oh God, the
It
voices.
makes sense now, doesn't it?
Oh God, I just remembered. In my worst
Kelly
offensive film-
Clarkson is Rachel Platten.
Yeah.
Get your
In
tinfoil
my,
hats, boys.
yes. Actually, in my worst of 2015 list, I made a joke. Like I didn't know that it was by Rachel Platten. I pretended that it was Kelly Clarkson, the one who made Fight Song. And then everyone in the comments started saying, "No, it's not Kelly Clarkson. It's Rachel Platten."
I
But
didn't
that was-
know that you were Kelly till I heard Fight Song.
Yeah.
Final Song is my favorite self-empowerment song that ends with song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Song is the best song.
Yeah,
I haven't heard.
Just the best song.
I haven't heard
Final
like
Song-
Final
Final Song
Song yet,
is
but
my
I've
favorite
heard.
band.
I haven't heard Final Song
Final
yet, but
Song
I
is
enjoyed
the-
what I've heard of snippets of it, and it seems like it
Yeah.
would be the exception to my long-standing
It should,
prejudices
okay.
against including the word "song" in your song title.
And Final
Yeah.
Song didn't
The
even
Lazy
try.
Song, my song "So We Did in the
Oh,
Dark."
this song. I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, the lazy song. We don't speak of it.
My song's
Maybe
"Know What
different
You Did in
song.
the Dark" is a different thing because like it's,
Yeah.
American Country Love Song.
no, it's
Song doesn't come at the end.
One
yeah.
song. Wow, that's the Christmas song. Adam Song by Blink-182.
The song song. The Eat Your Leg song.
Shall we move on then?
I
Yep.
guess so. No
Sure,
one
who's
cares about
next?
Kelly
Up
Clarkson.
next is Bon Jovi. I do not know anything about Bon Jovi.
I don't know that much about Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
I don't know
haven't
anything
listened to
about
that
Bon
much of
Jovi.
it.
Imagine this is a
Maybe we should
Marco or Roth
ask
thing.
if,
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Maybe
was
we should
Rob's
if
suggestion.
anyone actually knew anything about Bon Jovi
Yeah.
before
I
we.
only heard like one song of his.
I looked at their
Okay.
discography. Yeah, so they had a bunch of big hits. You know, You Love a Bad Name, Living on a Prayer. I don't know, maybe they were like really good before then. Like on radio music and all their stuff, it's like the same rated. So I don't know. I did my research right now.
From what I know about Bon Jovi from my years of childhood, yeah, Living on a Prayer and You Give Love a Bad Name were huge. The latter of which is one of the best songs ever because it rules. And as far as I know, they didn't really have any notable songs until like the year 2000 with their song "It's My Life."
That song is pretty good.
That song was really well known, and I liked it when I was younger. But in retrospect, it's not that good. I
I
mean,
haven't heard it in a while.
the cheesy
never heard it.
pianos, the simple guitars and drums, and his vocals are kind of bad. Not to mention the whole line in the chorus, like Frankie said, "I did it my way." I mean, that's just a Frank Sinatra reference. Good
Oh
for
shit!
you.
I didn't know that was.
Wow.
Oh.
And I mean, what if it came out in like 2020? Would it say like Calvin said, "I
Oh,
did it my
God.
way"? I mean,
Just
just
Freddie Bob.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, my way.
like Usher said, "I did." No, okay. So
Wait.
so basically, yeah.
Drum says I did
I
it
don't
still
know.
easily.
I don't know if the argument that they sold out is because of "It's My Life." I mean, really, they haven't had any other notable songs that I know of besides "It's My Life" and their stuff
Living on
from
a
the
Prayer is
80s.
I've just listened to 3 Bon Jovi songs. from best to worst, Living on a Prayer, You Give Love a Bad Name, and It's My Life, and they're all good. So I don't know anything else. So.
It's My Life is actually my favorite Bon Jovi song I've heard.
I only
I
heard
mean,
Living on
it's
a Prayer.
good, but I don't know if it's better than Living on a Prayer or You Give Love a Bad Name.
Yeah, I don't really know if any of us are really qualified to determine them as a sellout or not.
Okay, we should just move on.
Next
Okay.
artist, Coldplay.
Coldplay, oh.
We actually talked
love
about
Coldplay.
Coldplay on a recent podcast, but I've heard some people accuse them of being sellouts because of songs like Sky Full of Stars, Adventure of a Lifetime, Hymn for the Weekend.
Nah, fuck you. Adventure of a Lifetime's amazing.
I would say, did they sell out? Yes. Did that stop them from making fantastic music? No. People
Yeah.
who watched my best hit songs of 2016 list know how I feel about both Adventure of a Lifetime and Hymn for the
Yep.
Weekend.
The Sky Full of Stars is probably my third favorite Coldplay song after Viva La Vida and Every Teardrop is a Waterfall.
I mean, yeah, that whole selling out doesn't mean that it's bad. Can be applied to many artists so far, and Coldplay, including like The Weeknd and Fall Out Boy, and there's also Coldplay who have pretty good songs still, even though they are more popular than their older stuff.
Yeah, like, I'm not a huge fan of Coldplay. Their albums have like a pretty similar amount of hits and misses across the board, but a song from like 2008 is just as good as one from 2015.
Yeah,
They're generally really good, but their albums have gotten worse from listening to all of them. They never
I
have
only
sold
heard
out.
A Head Full of Dreams,
I mean,
and it wasn't all that good.
single wise, they are better than ever. Well, not better than ever, but they are still as good as ever. But album wise, I don't know. The quality drops a lot.
Yeah, wasn't
Because,
Ghost Stories was the one with like the discount Bon Iver track, right? Midnight, I think it was.
I don't
Yeah.
remember those stories at all. It's so
Like that
forgettable.
song.
I think.
Weird.
Yeah, I think that like they should do what they do with their singles more on like album deep cuts, and they would be fantastic artists.
Yeah. Yeah. The singles were the best songs in Adventure of a Lifetime, Up and Up, and especially Hymn for a Weekend.
Yep. Moving on then, I guess, to Jewel. Another one of Rob's suggestions. I've never heard a single Jewel song.
Me
The only
neither.
one I remember is her hit in 2002. That
Yeah, just know she had
Intuition.
Intuition was a
Yeah,
big sellout.
Intuition, yes.
it
Like,
definitely
it
was.
came out and everyone said, "Oh my God, what sellout move!"
Even not knowing much about Jewel, Intuition is still like really weird and
That was
very sellouty.
that was the pop cell track that Todd mentioned, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you mentioned in the tweet or something.
Yes, he mentioned Intuition. Like, I know a little bit about Jewel, that she used to be this folk rock singer or something, and then she released this, and no one took her seriously anymore. That's all I know, and it's mostly because of the tone of what Todd in the shower said. So I won't say anything else.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know
like
much about her.
the video is almost like a parody of like a sellout artist video.
I'll have to take a look at it after the podcast then. Moving on then, oh boy, Paramore. For the record, the only reason these guys are on the list now is because we had a vote in the B-side podcast and they made me include them.
Yeah.
I-
So
I do
I
not
think
think Paramore are sellouts, and I would fall on that
I
sword.
feel like they are sellouts in the same way that Fall Out Boy are sellouts. Like, they moved genres to appeal more to the public a little bit, but they became better because their Soul Title album is probably their best one.
Yeah.
As someone who thinks that self-titled is their worst album, I was in the B-side podcast on Paramore, and I got to talk all about that. I don't know if I could completely comfortably say that it was a sellout move. I mean, there were definitely some songs that were very sellouty on it, like just the general sound of songs like "Ain't It Fun" and "Still Into You." They just sound really poppy, and really, Paramore wouldn't have had any more chart success after Brand New Eyes if they had not done that, because those were like two of Paramore's biggest songs ever. They were the only Paramore songs to make year-end lists, so I think that might be some sort of sign that they did shift a bit. I don't know if I could say they totally sold out, but they definitely did shift a little bit, like RGS was saying.
Yeah, it was definitely a very different album to anything that they had done before, but in my opinion, it has just as much artistic value as their previous three.
Yeah, it paid off.
It's a very unique record. They experimented, and in my opinion, it paid off.
Yeah, I wouldn't really consider them a sellout, I don't think.
I mean, most of these like emo rock bands, like people better call them like Fall Out Boy, Panic! At Paramore have all changed their sounds kind of over the years, but that's
Pop
mostly
punk?
because of it. Yeah, pop punk.
Yeah, pop punk is a dead genre. They had to evolve into the 2010s.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Some of these guys have to like shift to the music trends.
Yeah, I'm
The
really.
genre.
Pop punk isn't dead. It's just that modern pop punk is usually
It's not dead, it's
good.
sleeping.
I mean, when these days the closest we got to pop punk is stuff like 5 Seconds of Summer. I wouldn't say it's dead,
Ew.
just kind of incumbent.
Just bad. Kind of.
I mean, definitely not seeing as much success as it did in the 2000s. Like, neither Panic! At the Disco, Fall Out Boy, nor Paramore have put out a pop punk album since the 2000s.
And honestly, I prefer their newest stuff than their older stuff for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, for example, This Is Gospel or Irresistible or Ain't It Fun are pretty good tracks. And I think that they are better than most of their really old stuff that they had 10 years ago.
With Panic! At the Disco, it's no question, because their debut was not an excellent album. And with Fall Out Boy, they've always been hit and miss. Like, they know two extremes, either really, really, really good or really, really, really bad. So it's hard for me to say like which style suits them better. And then with Paramore, well, I don't know. I like a lot of the stuff that they've made. They've been pretty consistent in their quality to me.
I could easily say that Panic was at their best in the Pretty Odd era with the authentic, almost like folk inspirations and stuff. That I think that was where they were at their best.
Like Pilot of Mona Lisa, for example.
Pretty Odd went from being my second least favorite Panic album to my second favorite Panic album. Instrumentally, it's their best by far.
I've listened to
colorful and lively.
I've listened to most of their singles and Death of a Bachelor in its entirety, but I need to listen to the other albums. I think I will like them.
Yep.
Okay.
Up next, we have Train. Oh boy.
Hey, hey.
I just think
Before I Met You.
what I just wonder is, did Train sell out, or did the public just decide to come crawling back to them? Because comparing songs like Drops of Jupiter to something like Hey Soul Sister, they both have some bizarre lyrics, and they would just happen to be years apart. I don't know if you could. There's really a case that they sold out in that instance.
Drops of Jupiter is still like a lot better
Yeah.
than Hey Soul Sister.
Songs like Drops of Jupiter or what's it called, Calling All Angels, there's more substance to them than crap like Play That Song, which is one of the most disgustingly sanitized songs I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the melody is a public domain song. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, it's the Dun, 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 dun,
Heart and
dun,
Soul.
dun.
It's Heart and Soul.
That's so. What?
It's Heart and Soul. They
Oh,
sampled
yeah.
Heart and Soul.
Yeah, but that's really lame. I don't know. Train is such a bad shit, insane band. Like they say stuff like hefty bag to hold my love, or your lipstick stains.
And
your
I
lipstick
got her
stains on the
hefty bag.
on the front lobe of my left side brain. Instead of saying like a kiss on my mind, they say all of that. I don't know. Hazel Sister is a good
I've
contender
heard
for the
different
award.
things about it. I at this point I can't tell if that line's about like just I've got your kisses on my mind or if it's actually a blowjob metaphor. I've heard different
Oh, yeah, also. I don't know. Train. Hazel Sister is probably is a good contender for the worst hit of the decade so far.
I think that as bad as a song like Hazel Sister or Drive By is, I wouldn't say they were sellouts. And I mean, when you look at something like 50 Ways to Say Goodbye, another bad song,
I like that song.
The mariachi influences were kind of cool. I like the horn sections and the fast-paced guitar strumming. I think Play That Song, from what I've heard, really is the first indication of Train selling out because it rips on that heart and soul melody. The lyrics are pretty generic. Even the more bizarre lines aren't really interesting. I haven't even heard that song all the way through because I don't want to.
Yeah, I've heard it on the radio a lot. I hate it so much. It's probably gonna make my worst list this year. It's just so safe and sanitized. And bland.
If it becomes a 2016 hit, but I really wish it doesn't. I really wish it doesn't. It will be on.
Yeah, it's a flop.
It's like Fight Song, but on steroids, and how safe
Yeah,
it is.
it's another bad song that ends with song on the title.
It'll be a pretty consensus pick, I think, if it makes the year on this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if Hazel Sister was a sellout. Really? Okay, I was saying that I think Hazel Sister is kind of a sellout, but I'm not sure. Was ukulele driven songs back in 2009 that popular, or was that a trend, like songs with ukulele?
Was it the I'm Yours?
Copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get copyright strikes. Thanks, Calum.
Oh my god, Calum, what is that?
Any other comments on Train?
They're pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never
they
listened
slow
to
down.
song for them.
you could say that they are a train wreck. Okay, what's next?
Paul McCartney. I have no idea how this guy ended up on the list.
Some Jimmy's cousin or uncle or something.
I don't know. His career has honestly his career is really long, so I'm guessing he has at a point. I think I don't remember who, but someone said that 4 or 5 seconds was his sellout point because he started working with Kanye and Rihanna.
Not true.
But that song was great, so I don't know if that's true.
Well, I mean, sellout songs can be great. All I really have to add to this discussion is simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, it's post Beatles stuff with like
I forgot about
Wings or whatever. It isn't as good, I don't think. Well, I haven't listened to a lot of it. But.
Guys, do you think that Live and Let Die is a sellout song? Because I really love that song and I don't want to admit that it's a sellout song.
Never heard it.
The James Bond theme?
Shrek.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and Shrek the Third for some reason. That movie was really bad. Well, kind of bad. It doesn't make sense at all. But yeah, like, was that song good? Or there have been 3 recordings and we are only at the what? There are like still like 8 left.
Yeah, exactly 8. Alright, I'm
Yeah, it's the
recording
last day.
again,
Let's go.
so Any final comments on Paul McCartney?
I do got one thing to say.
Go on.
Me and Paul McCartney are related. That's all I have to say.
Oh my god. I forgot
Black
about
Beatles.
Black Beatles for a moment.
Up next, we have Rihanna.
No.
Yeah.
More like
Rihanna
Rihanna.
had something for this, but he's gone. So
I don't know. Rihanna has too many songs, but none of them I would call sellout. Really.
Yeah. She's always been
Because she,
an
yeah,
inconsistent artist.
she's always been successful, so she doesn't need to sell out. So
Really, the only argument I could think of that Rihanna was a sellout is that she's from the Caribbean, because she's. Calum, what are you doing? So she's from the Caribbean, Barbados to be exact, and that influence comes in on her first big single, Pon de Replay, and most of her big singles after that didn't really carry that same sort of influence. So you can make an argument that in shifting from that, it was a sellout. I personally don't believe that, but I do want to look at this from all sides, and that's the best I could think of. I do think Rihanna has made a lot of good and a lot of bad music. Her worst song, in my opinion, is honestly Unfaithful. But, yeah, she's kind of all over the map with her style.
Yeah.
I loathe Unfaithful. Not even Birthday Cake makes me as undeniably upset as Unfaithful does.
wait, which one is the "You Look So Dumb Right Now" song? Is
No.
that Unfaithful?
Let's take a bow. I like that song.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's a good song.
what's Unfaithful? I forgot.
oh, this song.
It's the whiny piano ballad. I don't want to do this anymore.
Wow, you said exactly the same
exactly.
thing on.
Ew, that's not a good song.
I only
It's-
I never liked
It's
it.
one of my least favorite songs of all time.
I only know that song because of Niga Higa.
Good.
I never liked that song to begin with.
Yeah, but that's not a sellout song either.
It's not. It's just garbage.
He's not a sellout. She was
Yeah,
a pop
it's
star
trash.
from the beginning, pop star to the end. Next up is Blur, which I don't know.
I've no idea who
It's
that
song
even
2.
is.
Blur are the guys who made the song 2. Another song called Song. That's
Oh,
a
God.
recorded thing. And
Yeah,
it's
they're,
pretty good. But I've not listened to any other Blur song.
They're a British band that a lot of people love. They released a song that was like a parody of grunge songs. It got really popular, and also
Gorillaz?
and the guy, the main guy from Blur ended up forming the Gorillaz.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, like he's like Brendan Urie, but he was always the band, not like he's a one man band and all the characters are just characters. There's no, and it's only him and an animator. That's Gorillaz.
wow.
Yeah, song 2
Didn't
is
know
more
that.
of a fluke hit than a sellout, really. So I wouldn't say they sold out.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't listened to any Blur song besides song 2, which is pretty good but too short.
It was Rob's suggestion. He probably could fill us in on what he was thinking, but alas.
Yeah, a lot of these suggestions were from people who couldn't make it.
Yep.
So.
Alright, our next
Hey,
artist on the list.
Oh,
What's that?
yes.
Oh my god.
No.
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah,
No,
that-
not a
Oh
sellout.
yeah.
That was
She had-
my suggestion.
She has and had no artistic integrity.
That's pretty mean.
That's,
She has some
that's
artistic
not true.
okay.
That's not true at all. I would argue that in her Radio Disney days, she really had no artistic integrity because she was a
Okay, that's
byproduct
fine.
of Disney. She didn't really have that much control of her career, despite the fact that she gave us both great songs like See You Again and horrendous, awful trash like one of my least favorite songs of all time, Hoedown Throwdown, and The Climb.
Pop it, lock it.
I will actually block you. Anyways,
Okay.
so then in 2009 or 10, I think it was, when Can't Be Tamed came out,
Oh god.
she was still kind of with Disney, so that wasn't really anything. And then in 2013 with Bangers, she was just kind of doing her own thing, but it wasn't necessarily selling back in either because, well, I mean, sort of. You could tell that she was doing her own thing. I think the moment where Miley really said screw it to the money and went all in with her artistic endeavors was 2015 with Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets, because while that album, from what I've heard, is awful, I mean, the song "Do It" is probably one of the worst of that year.
Yeah, it really is.
You really can't say that she's not making what she wants to make, because I mean, she put it up on SoundCloud for free, so the label couldn't control any of it, and
Wait, so
she just really did what she wanted to do with that album. You know, you
Yeah.
could say that you don't like the art that she's making, but I would still say that it's still some sort of artistic integrity because she's doing what she wants to do. So in a sense, Miley sort of sold back in with that album.
I think, yeah, when you start with Radio Disney, you can't sell out. You can only go less sell out from there. And yeah, she sort of reverse sold out with Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets, where she's now making really weird stuff instead of like mainstream.
I mean, I really agree with you on selling back, but I'm not sure if I would do with her not being a sellout, because I wouldn't usually consider acts that go all sexual and crazy sellouts, but considering how, like, in 2012, no one cared about her, and she just released Weekend Stuff, and she was the biggest star in the world that year, because,
That's depressing.
and yeah,
Controversy, she was doing sexual stuff.
yeah, like she used all the controversy to make money, and I think Wrecking Ball was the #1 hit. Yeah, and yeah, so she was bigger than ever. And so I would consider her a sellout, but then she sold back in with the awful Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets album, which I haven't listened to, but Do It and BB Talk are terrible tracks, so I think I'll be doing that soon, unless I make a stupid tweet with like saying something like 30 likes, and I'll listen to this album, and I'll have to do it.
It's rare when the Flaming Lips and Michael Made It are producers on the same album.
Yeah, that's. Oh my god, Miley Cyrus. Oh, and she was also a judge on The Boys. I don't know if that counts as a sellout move.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's something we forgot to mention. Like, doing stuff like acting or judging or something like that counts as a sellout. Because I watched this Watch Mojo list that said that Ice Cube was a sellout because
Wait, who?
in many family Ice Cube, because he starred in many comedies,
Oh,
and I thought that was a really stupid argument, but I'm not sure.
He
He's
kind of
good.
like sold out his image, but he's still really good. Everyone loves Ice Cube.
Yeah, and also that barbershop movie that he released last year was awesome. So yeah, he should still be making comedies. I don't know what they're talking about. So back to Miley Cyrus, she kind of sucked, then she sucked, then she sucked more, but she sold out and sold back in. Yeah, I'm just rambling. Do you have anything to say?
Nah.
nope.
Okay.
Final 5 artists.
Alright, up next, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, I think start with this one because of Can't Stop the Feeling and the rest of the Troll soundtrack.
Yep.
I guess that's selling out technically, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Can't Stop the Feeling was decent. I liked it.
Yep.
And well, although most of the Troll soundtrack was awful, but not because of Justin Timberlake. So. Oh yeah, and I listened to the Troll soundtrack. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I guess I would consider him a sellout for Can't Stop the Feeling, which is a atrocious song. But I do think he could definitely come back and make good music if he releases another album.
Yeah, and also you could say that he sold back in and Sync and all that stuff, because then he became really good. Justified is a good album. Future Sex and Love Sounds a really great album, and the 2020 Experience is also it's one of my favorite albums. So yeah, so I don't know if Can't Stop the Feeling counts. So, but yeah, and also FYI, Starboy hates Can't Stop the Feeling. So I don't know if he'll be happy with what I
I haven't heard any of Justin Timberlake's albums, but I've enjoyed most of his singles, and Can't Stop the Feeling is no exception. It's not like the best thing ever, but it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I don't mind Can't Stop the Feeling.
Okay, so
Right.
does anyone else have anything to say about Justin Timberlake?
Nah.
No.
Oh, and also he was great in The Social Network. I think I should point that out.
Yeah.
Haven't seen the movie.
I haven't seen it.
It's great. Mark Zuckerberg. Casey Eisenberg.
Right. Next on the list is T.I.
Oh, speaking of, yeah.
Podcast really starting to feel like it's fizzling out.
We're gonna make it to the end.
They are way too many.
We're almost there now.
Yeah.
We're
Okay,
gonna
we can
go
do
through
this.
this.
I'm just eating carrots, so.
Okay.
Two
so-
words. No mediocre.
Yeah, No Mediocre was awful. Door Lines was awful.
Well, at least it wasn't mediocre.
Yeah. And Whatever You Like is kind of lame. Well,
Whatever You Like is fucking disgusting and ew, and I just. Ugh.
Dead and Gone is just good. It's only good because of Justin Timberlake. And
Dead and
Whatever
Gone is
You-
fantastic.
And Live Your Life is only good because of Rihanna. So I don't know. Okay, he was great in My Love by Justin Timberlake, but other than that, I don't know anything about T.I. Also,
T.I. and Justin Timberlake must really get along, mustn't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also he was in Ant-Man.
He
Is
was
it
what?
what?
He's an
He was
anime.
in Ant-Man, the Marvel movie.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my.
I just remember. I don't
I thought you
know.
were going to say he was in an anime.
Yeah.
No.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if he had like, some
Pokemon,
sort
no
of.
mediocre.
I guess no mediocre is a sellout point. I don't know if he had some sort of like good career before he became mainstream, but
Yeah. Does anyone here know anything about T.I.?
No.
sort of.
Mm.
I mean, I know that his only good song was My Love, and
He has some songs.
yeah, he was great in that, but I don't know if
Objection. Dead and Gone is great.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
best songs
yeah,
of
but-
2009, easily.
yeah, Dead and Gone is great, but because
Live Your Life. That's the best song, probably.
I like Dead and Gone more than Live Your Life, honestly.
Also, What You Know, one of his earlier ones, is really good.
What you know? When I hear you say what you know, I'm thinking of the Two Door Cinema Club song, which you should
Also a
totally
good
listen
song.
to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay,
What did you
I'll quickly
Good song.
check out if he has another hit that I know. Oh my God, Whatever You Like was number one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
What was
God,
number one?
I thought that Whatever You Like.
Oh my.
I thought that it was like
Yeah, give
number.
this a listen when. Oh fuck.
No, I
Sid,
barely know
give this
any
a listen
songs
when you
from
can.
this guy. Okay.
Lupe Fiasco is next up.
I also don't know anything about Lupe Fiasco.
Okay. So, the show goes on. It's amazing. I don't know why Lupe Fiasco hates that
Yeah.
song.
It's a good song.
And
Yeah,
I
a lot of
think,
people call him a sellout.
Yeah.
But
And-
not really. It's not a sellout.
yeah, because I really don't know anything about Lupe Fiasco, but Touch the Sky and the show goes on are great. So
Yeah, I really like him. Kick Push is really good.
yeah, but I've heard
And-
that his political stuff is pretty great. So and people
Pop Save Mother.
yeah, and
Superstars, man.
I bet his fans don't really like the show goes on because it's kind of poppy. I guess that's what I assume. but it's a great song. It's one of the best of that boring year that was 2011.
I'm not big on Show Goes On, mostly because of that Modest Mouse sample. I mean, part of what made Float On so great was that they waited until the end of that song to bring in that melody, and it like led up to that moment, and it was just kind of glorious. By using it in the chorus of Show Goes On, it just kind of softens the impact for me. It doesn't really do anything. I'm not big on it.
That's kind of a good argument, but I was never like a huge fan of Float On, and I barely listened to it before Show Goes On, and I love the latter. So again, anything else to say about Lupe Fiasco?
Shout out to the boy, Just Your Ordinary Toast, because he talks about Guy Sebastian a lot, and Guy Sebastian did a song with Lupe Fiasco once.
Yeah.
You know who else did a song with Lupe Fiasco, apparently? Patrick Stump.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
think Ed Sheeran did a song with Lupe Fiasco.
He
Yeah, he did.
did?
Yeah.
He actually did.
My God.
Oh,
Lupe
goodness.
really gets around, doesn't he?
Sounds
Yeah.
like his career is a fiasco.
That doesn't make sense.
No.
Really?
Fiasco is something bad, and we were talking about something good. So
Right,
A
right.
fiasco is like a gigantic failure.
yeah, and we were talking about Jay.
Okay, so like B.O.B.
Yeah.
Yeah, B.O.B. is
Oh.
more of a fiasco than Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we don't talk about that. All right, we're almost there, guys. Christina Aguilera. Fuck, I can't pronounce it. Can someone else do it?
Christina Aguilera.
Christina Aguilera.
Christina kind of takes us back to the whole, can a Disney artist really sell out thing? Because she started on Disney too.
Oh, really?
And then
She did?
Yeah, she did. She was in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse
Oh.
with like Justin Timberlake
but-
and Britney Spears
Holy
way
shit.
back in the day. She was
Oh,
one
Oh,
and
that
done.
just reminds me of that one lyric Eminem had, and
Oh, yeah. I forgot.
There you go.
The-
So,
Okay.
but then Christina sort of did her own artistic endeavors with Genie in a Bottle and I am beautiful no matter what they say. And also, I remember she had that one song called Dirty, which is probably one of the worst songs I've ever heard. But
really?
well, not ever, but it's just really bad. And then like, I don't really know much about her career until like 2009 or something. She had that like Bionic album or something, and
Oh my.
everyone was like losing their crap. Like, oh, Christina sucks now. I don't really know if she ever really sold out though. She's on The
Okay,
Voice
so-
now as a judge, so
Yeah.
She has
I don't
been
know.
for ages.
Yeah, for some reason, all this
Irish.
has a lot of voice judges. It has Levine, it has
'Cause-
Miley Cyrus.
Good
and it-
lord, I just realised Moves Like Jagger came out 6 years ago.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah,
Feels so
2011. It's 2017 now.
old. I feel so
Oh
old.
my God. TikTok came around 8 years ago. TikTok became
7 years ago it came
Yeah.
out. TikTok.
We're all getting old.
Yep.
Oh,
The world is passing
Okay.
us by.
so this kind of goes back to the Miley Cyrus argument, which, like, Christina Aguilera tried to be shocking because it was around the Lady Gaga era, per se. She tried to be shocking with this music video, and yeah, no one bought it. It was awful. So she's like a failed sellout.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about her, but it seems like she sold out with that, whatever that thing was.
Remember, kids, selling out does not in any way guarantee you success. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
But again, she was
I mean,
popular from the beginning, so it goes against my arguments about that.
Christina Aguilera has a powerful voice, but that doesn't mean that it's a good voice. I mean, she was great in Lady Marmalade, but any other good song from her.
Alright, our last artist.
Okay,
It is
Okay.
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know about Gwen Stefani. I don't know enough about her.
She used to be the lead or
She
the
used
lead
to be
vocalist.
thirsty for me.
She used to be the lead vocalist of No Doubt. and it was like they released "Don't Speak." I don't know if you remember that song.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay. Then she went solo and she started releasing pop songs like "Holla Back Girl" and the beloved "Sweet Escape" and the masterpiece that is "Wind It Up."
Yeah, I love Wind It Up.
And I'm totally not joking with that last saying
What's your
that "Wind It Up" is totally the best song of all time.
You could say that.
We're gonna talk about Wind It Up. I think I actually do really like it. Even though it's like a Hollaback Girl ripoff, the sample is really good. I don't care what people say. Wind It Up is a good song. And Gwen Stefani is, yeah, I'd say she's a sellout. That's her piece.
Oh yeah, she definitely sold out.
Yeah, no, but honestly, I really don't like "Wind It Up," and I was one of the two people that listened to her 2016 album, and it was below average. I mean, it has a lot of good songs like "Make Me Like You," but then it has this song. I think it was called "Red Flag." That is like the worst thing ever. I don't know. I think she sold out, but it's been so long ago that I don't really care. It was like what 10 years ago that she sold out. Oh, and Hollaback Girl is unironically great, and this time I'm legit no joking. I love Hollaback Girl.
Not good, but Sweet Escape, I think we can all agree, is really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's good. Sweet Escape's good.
amazing.
Free Escape is the best 3 out of 5 song I've ever listened to.
Boo.
Wow.
Alright.
Oh yeah, but if you
More
want
like
a
the
bad
best 1 out of 5.
I mean, this one is just awful.
Are we done? Did we do it?
Yep,
I guess
we've
we are
made
done.
it to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this
We
was our
discussed
podcast.
every single artist.
This was a really long podcast about sellout artists, but
And I get to edit it. Bully for me.
yeah.
Well, that
Wait
was
for
our
your entry.
Sellout podcast, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the B-Side podcast with special guests from TMIPOTI and NMR. And we'll see you guys next time.
Don't
Bye.
sell out, kids.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, don't slow.
Peace.
Bye. Don't sell out.
Maintain your
Okay.
artistic integrity.